Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song by Keith Urban called Somewhere in My Car. And we're going to end up capoing this on 3rd fret to kind of match the recording, but it starts out with some really cool licks around some chords. And we start out our intro on a C major chord, even though we'll end up capoing this on 3rd fret to match the recording. And so we're going to take 1st finger and go to the B string on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the D string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the A string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord. It sounds really happy. And then another C you may want to think about through the song, though, is something called C major 9, where you do the 1st finger on the D string 2nd, 2nd finger on the A string 3rd, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major 9. So you may want to think about that through the song too. And then from the C, we're going to go into a G major chord. Let me play G major. 1st finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the low E string on the 3rd fret, and 3rd finger on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now you may also want to think about putting the 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, it's another way you can play your G major chord. And then from the G, we're going to be going to an E minor chord. E minor. 1st finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the D string 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord, and it sounds really sad. Now you may also want to think about taking the 3rd finger and adding it to the B string 3rd fret, pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. If you strum all those together, it sounds an E minor 7, so you want to think about that for the E minors. And then from the E minor, we're going to be going to D major. When we play D major, 1st finger goes to the G on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the high E on the 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the B string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now while you're on D, normally it's a very cool thing to kind of lift off the 2nd finger, and that sounds something called D sus2, or D suspended 2nd. Or you could even take the D shape and add in the pinky, and that sounds something called D sus. You want to kind of play around with kind of saying some stuff with the D. And then basically we're going to be kind of repeating that a lot for kind of our intro progression. It's kind of C, G, E minor, D major, and you'll hear these cool little licks around those chords actually at the very beginning. And if you want to follow those licks, you could go 3rd on the A string, open G, 1st fret on the B, open G, open B, and then open G, the 2nd fret on the G, and then you could go 3rd fret on the low E string, and then open G, 3rd fret on the high E string, open G, 2nd on the high E string, and then 3rd fret on the B string, and then we go open E, or 2nd fret on the D string, or both at the same time, and then open G, 1st fret on the B, open G, open B, open G, and then 2nd fret on the G, and then open D, open G, or 2nd fret on the G, and then 3rd fret on the high E string, 2nd fret on the G, and then 2nd fret on the high E string, and then 3rd fret on the B string. So if you wanted to kind of follow those licks, you'd have kind of the C idea, and then the G idea, and then kind of the E minor idea, and the D idea. Those chords, if you want to follow those licks, that might be kind of a cool thing to try. Now through the song though, you may want to try a couple different strum patterns though, like doing just downs, and maybe even kind of using muting could be a very cool way to kind of make it really heavy at different points. And what I'm doing is kind of 8 downs on each chord, and then kind of using the flat of my right hand to kind of lay against the saddle to make it kind of muted and sneaky cool. So you may want to think about using that through part of the song. And then actually, a lot of times with a song like this, I like to use something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. And so we took the C and tried that a lot. You'd have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So we tried that through that intro progression. We'd have C, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, down, up, E minor, down, up, down, up, D, down, up, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, down, up, E minor, down, up, down, up, D, down, up, down, up. And we'll basically be taking that idea and kind of mixing it up kind of through our song. Now the weird part is to play along with Keith Urban, instead of starting on a or a C major chord, he's starting on an E flat major chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, And if you put the capo on 3rd fret, then now your C major is really an E flat major, your G major is really a B flat major, your E minor is really a G minor chord, and your D is really an F major chord. But to take it from the very beginning, you may want to kind of kick it off with kind of those intro licks that we were talking about. That might be kind of a cool way to kind of intro the tune. And you may want to try that kind of hybrid picking, where I'm kind of using my pick for my basses and my fingers for the other notes of the lick. Or that might even feel easier for you if you kind of try that idea and kind of break it up into kind of a fingerstyle idea. And we're going to talk about a little bit more of the fingerstyle kind of idea in a moment. Or you could just kind of try strumming through that intro and just have the C with the downs, G with downs, E minor with downs, D with downs. Or you may want to try the down, down, up, down, up, C, down, up. We'll be going into our first verse. So we have kind of our C, G, E minor, D, or you may want to kind of take those ideas and mix them up too. G, E minor, D, and then after we do that twice, we go back to the C, and then we go to E minor, and then we do another E minor, and then we go to D. It's kind of almost like a verse tag that gets repeated. C, E minor, and then we do a D with kind of a down, 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 and then kind of kill the strings. And then from there, then we'll be going into our chorus part. So we'd have our C, G, E minor, D, C, G, E minor, D, C, G. And I can do that 3 times on that last D. You can kind of hear this big punctuation on that chorus. Kind of big downs on that part. And then from there, then we go into a really quick solo around that same progression. Now, something else that I think about adding to the song, though, is bass notes. And a lot of times on the first down, of the down, down, up, down, you can throw in a bass note for the chord. So on the C, you'd have the A for the bass. On the G, you'd have the low E for the bass. On the E minor, you'd have the low E for the bass. And on the D, you'd have the D for the bass. So if we tried that through that solo part, you'd have the C with an A bass, G with low E bass, E minor with low E bass, D with a D bass. And if we took that idea and tried it through our next verse, then we'd have C with an A bass, G with low E bass, E minor with low E bass, D with a D bass, C with an A bass, G with low E bass, E minor with low E bass, D with a D bass. And then we got kind of our pre-chorus with C, E minor, D, C, E minor, and then we got our big D punch, kind of down, down, down kind of idea. And then from there, then we'll be going into our chorus part. Now, something else you may want to think about, though, is doing this finger style. Just if you're interested in this, your thumb would kind of become the bass player for the E string, A string, and D string. And then you could kind of line your fingers up. Index on the G string, middle finger on the B string, and ring finger on the high E string. And one cool way to kind of break up the chords, or arpeggiate the chords, is to kind of do the bass note and then the G and the B and the E. But you can kind of use thumb, index, middle, ring to kind of do that idea. So that might be kind of a cool way to kind of do it too, just straight through. It could be kind of a cool way to kind of intro it. G, E minor with low E bass, D with the D bass. So the weird part is the thumb would kind of be moving for your bass notes. G, E minor, D. And on that next chorus, actually, that we're kind of going into, we do our progression 4 or 3 times, and then we kind of hit our bridge part. And our bridge actually is just kind of a variation. You could do this with the fingers if you wanted to. It's kind of a down, down, kill it kind of idea through the chord progression. G, E minor, D major, C major. So I'm kind of using my index finger for kind of a pick. But you could play around with different ideas with that too. That might be kind of a cool way to kind of try it. And then from there, then we go into kind of our last chorus. And it starts off with kind of almost that same idea, but now it's just one down on each chord through that chord progression. back up on kind of our full-blown outro chorus. And you may want to kind of just try that with the fingerstyle too, kind of that C, G, E minor, D. Or if you know other strum patterns that work too, you know, feel free to kind of embellish this lesson any way you want to kind of, you know, if you know other licks around the chorus too, that can be cool to kind of. Other stuff to kind of add. But that's the basics of how you could strum through Somewhere in My Car by Keith Urban. So good luck.